I slightly different to everyone else. I sent Zoe loads of ideas, from which she helpfully crafted something sensible, which she's going to talk about. And I think the kind of ideas that were intriguing is, or what we've been talking about today, is really bits of the brain and what different bits of the brain do, and particularly the bits of the brain that govern your sense of self, and how if you inhibit those bits of the brain, then you get a sense of oneness, which is familiar to most spiritualities. So yeah, we talk about that, kind of ideas of extended mind, and over to you.
Yeah, so I was inspired by Andy's research into collective animals, ants, and that's, I did a lot of other, like, looking into collective intelligence, and then and that somehow leaked into writing a story that was a journal article, and purporting to be a very objective report on these experiments that had gone on between 2050 and 2070 by a scientist who'd been kicked out of his university, him and his wife, IVF themselves, quintuplets, and they think that what they use these ideas on collective intelligence to augment their children into better humans than previously. So they're cleverer. So the journal article is a report on the experiments they do on their own kids over 20 years and how this all goes wrong and they all die. So I spent the whole day mining poor Andy for evil, unethical possibilities of experimentation on children, and it's been dark. It's gone really dark places. So we thought to structure the article on 3 stages of the children's development, and how through the father is really into the kind of collective behaviour of ants and things, and he thinks this can help their kids work together as a team, and the mother is more sort of the interfacing thing, that improving the brain through through technology and in connecting their processes. So as children, as babies, they try to improve their movements and performance, so they make them into like breakdancing babies, and she'll refer to the anonymous internet phenomenon of those breakdancing babies back in 2050, and so this is all nice, this is all lovely, look at these cute little kids being really good at breakdancing even though they're only tiny, it goes into looking at their academic performance and how that's accelerated by being collective. So as we were saying, that they inhibit the idea of inhibiting the sense of self, so that they're at one with the world. They grow up thinking they are at one. We haven't worked out we've played with loads of ideas for experiments. We haven't quite worked out exactly how the experiment will work, but there's this sense that it will start to go wrong, in that they get so locked into each other that they just are on a repetitive loop, and they're kind of stuck in this sequence, and it'll get really uncanny where they're all humming the same, and they're almost two together, and the parents realise that they actually need some kind of individuation. So that's when it all starts to get nasty, where they realise they're going to have to break the loop by breaking into one of the kids and break the cycle. So we're not sure how that's going to work out yet, but it may involve sacrificing one of the kids through aversion, and through sort of to pull it out the loop. It's really dark.
It's going to make for a really awkward acknowledgement section in your paper.
So basically, and this freaks the mother out, and she's starts to dissent from the plan. And the father's still caught up in this idea of this ideal perfection. If they just get it right, they need a little bit of individuation, but they'd have this perfect collective kids that are super intelligent. But she begins to break down, can't really cope with this. And then the kind of the third experiment is more about their emotional development. And so the father still wants to retain this unity, but the mother starts sabotaging it by trying to, at a very late stage, increase individuality, how they interact. So there's various ways that she might do this, and it could be playing them off each other. She might have a favourite. And we don't know exactly how puberty might come into this as well, because you want your kids to be something, but part of development is rebelling, isn't it? So have they included that into the picture or not? Are they going to try and control their hormones? So basically, it all breaks down at this point, and we get various scenarios of kids escaping, kids rebelling, kids sacrificing themselves because Andy needed some redeeming feature of goodness in the father still thinking it's going to be right. And anyway, so this is all told very academically, and at the end you realize it's actually told by one of the children, and she's the surviving child, and everybody's dead, like Hamlet. And she's very darkly thinks that father was right. He just got a lot of things wrong, and then she's IVF'd herself some babies, and she's going to continue the experiment with the next generation. And what her father did wrong was that he wasn't female, and because she's the mother, she can collectively get in with her kids, just carry it on like that.
The queen.
like a queen bee. So it's been a bit of a it's been a dark day, and then Andy was like, well, what incest? There's all sorts of things you can do with that. Is that going to happen? I don't know. So it's very big. It's a very big story, actually. So is they're going to have this sense of the beautiful oneness of the kids actually sacrifice themselves to keep someone alive. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it ends up with the narrator on her own, carrying on the experiment on the next generation amidst the death.
From the sort of science side of things, I like the idea of this kind of idea. If you've got like a strongly coupled system, so you've got these 5 things that are kind of oscillating. If you strongly couple them, they will all get entrained with synchrony. So that was kind of the idea of if they've got strong links between them, then they'll suddenly all just be doing the same things, and that just happens in systems. And they will all end up doing the same thing. And then it's very hard to get strongly entrained systems out of their thing. You can't put input in, and that's why we had to sacrifice a child to shock the system.
Yeah.
I think it's the only way.
Yeah,
It's the only
way.
The only way they'll learn. We also thought that maybe do kind of aversive conditioning, and then maybe the only way you could get in was by torturing the child. But even that was getting a bit dark for them.
It kind of, and also you have these harking back to other unethical experiments in the past. You've got Pavlov, you've got all sorts of things that will be echoed through, and she might even reference as support for her and her family's work.
I really like the idea that they had done it as an academic paper, so then you can get the discussion section in reference to all the other.
You might all be in it.
We've done. Yeah.
Which journal are you targeting?
I'm going for Nature. It might be rejected.
It won't be of general enough interest for most people.
It needs to be open access.
So there's huge questions there, really.
Okay, thank you. Well, thank you, first of all.